Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of 3D Archery. You know, I posted a video, which the link will appear right here, for Byron Ferguson's DVD on tuning for extreme accuracy. You know, it's a good DVD, but after I posted it, I got to thinking, you know, if you don't know how to tune, it's a great DVD, but does it work? You know, how easy is his system to follow? So what I decided to do is I bought almost everything he has in the DVD, and I'm going to do a set of arrows for you. Now, one caveat, I never tune my own arrows. I've fletched them for a while now, but I have a guy at the local pro shop. He knows what I like, he knows what works, and he gets them, he cuts them, he does all that for me. So this is going to be my first time tuning them. So this is going to be great because you're going to see what I think and we'll follow the whole thing. So first thing I'm going to do is show you how much it cost me. And you know what? You're going to sort of be amazed. When I have them all done for me, fletched and everything, and even had the fletching tape put on there, the collars, runs me about 130 to 140 bucks. Now, first thing I bought, DVD, $12. I bought 1 dozen arrows. I bought Gold Tip XT Hunters 500 spine. Now you can get them probably cheaper than what I got because it all depends on your arrows. And that was $99.95. They come with a Nock and they all come with inserts, which you have to put in on your own, so you're going to need some glue for that. Then the next thing we need is feathers. We're going to need 36 of them. You're going to need 24 hens, and my hens I chose whites. Alright, and then you're going to need 12 cock feathers, and I chose the barred. My feathers cost me $31.80. Then you're going to need field point heads. That cost me $5.50. Then, to fletch, you're going to need a rig. I like this rig, and you'll see the review for it right here. Alright, the rig cost me $50. Then, to make sure the arrows stick on, you need glue. That cost me $3.99. And just by coincidence, my old target was dying, and you don't want to shoot arrows bare shaft tuning into a used target. So I went out and got this from the local pro shop, ran me 60 bucks. Then I bought the spin tester. That was $20. And a set of 3 Luminox, about $24. Now what I'm going to do to mine, because I'm not going to leave mine just like they are. I'm going to fancy them up. I'm going to spray paint different stuff and crest them. So that takes paint. Get my different colors, and then I got my, right here, my clear coat. That ran me about another $20. So the whole total is up a little bit past $300. Now, you can knock off 60 for this, you can knock off 50 for this, you can knock off 20 for that. So the price will drop after every set, but I even did the math, and after every set, I'm still around the $120 range, $130 range for a set of arrows. Alright, so our first step is we're going to bare shaft tune our arrows. And what I already did, just so you know, my arrows came with the nocks already preset in them. Oops, wrong one. I had to super glue in the inserts, and it's real simple. You just put glue on it, push it down, and have a rag handy to wipe off the excess glue. Alright, so I don't think I need to show you that. So our next step will be bare shaft tuning. I'm going to hang this up, and we'll take some shots. So I'll see you in a few. Welcome back, everybody. One thing I forgot. Was going to hang the bag, but if I hang it, it's going to swing. So it could give me a bad reading. So I watched the video again, and what he did, he just had his bag sitting on a little bench. So that's what I did. I put my table, put my old bag there, and I set that one on top of it. So I'm going to shoot it just like that. Alright, let me check out my bow, and I'll show you some different things. We'll see how my bow compares to the stuff that he said. Coming up next. Alright everybody, got my bow strung. This is my 1958 Ben Pearson Palomino. It's pretty much my favorite bow. I just love how this thing shoots. It's just so easy and natural. So, you know, one thing about archery, terminology, it just gets you all screwed up. So the first thing you always check is your brace height. Now, everybody does it different. Byron Ferguson says you check it from here to here, but most people go from the deepest part of the handle to the string. And Ben Pearson recommends 7.5 to 8.5. And mine is just a tad over 7.5. And that's where it shoots good. You know, it makes a little bit of twang, but I'm not hunting, so I don't care. And so what does brace height do? Well, if you get it in the right range, natural harmonics, it reduces it. And it little less hand shock, but the little noise does not affect performance at all. Now, one more thing I'm going to show you is my arrows. These ones I've been using all year, and you can see why I'm changing them. You know, a year of 3D archery, they can get trashed. These babies fly beautiful. They always fly straight. So I know the length. So take my new ones. You can see I'm not gonna lose a whole lot of distance. I'm gonna probably, if it goes right, it should cut about 1 inch off. You know, I could just do that, but I'm not. I'm gonna do the whole process. Let's just see how it works. Now, the other thing he tells you to do is to nock your bow lightly, shoot it, and then adjust it. All right. So here's my nock, little nock square. You pop it in there. Pop it. Oops, I can only do the bottom one. There you go. Pop it in both. You set it there and I'll tell you exactly where you're at. You know what, and that's great. But you know, I don't do it like that. I do it by eyeball. I get my arrow in, I set it into its level, and then I shoot it and see how it flies. And you can see this is slightly canted, but it flies beautiful like that. Now, when you play with your nock, if it goes too low or too high, you're going to get porpoising. And what porpoising is your arrow doing this in the air. Alright, so that's why the nock's big. But if you play with it in very small increments, you can actually adjust, according to Rick Welch, and since he's a multi-time world champion, I wouldn't doubt him, you can actually adjust where your arrow hits. So the nock's important. Now you can do string, I do metal, just because it's easier. Now, I checked my tillers, and this is a very interesting design bow. And what's tiller? It's a great question. Tiller is when you make a bow, it's making your bow bend the limbs. That's called tillering. But tiller is how much your bow bends. And they measure from here to here. There's positive tiller, negative tiller. It all depends on split finger, 3-ender. It's all done by your boyer. And you just tell them which style you shoot and you're supposed to do it for you. But here's the great one. These are mass produced. So how did they do it? Does it matter? Yes, when you're going for super accuracy. But if you're not that good, it's not going to matter. All right, and just to prove a point, this baby is deadly accurate. And you usually measure your tiller from the end of the riser. So right there, I'm at a little over 7.5. Now, due to the design of this bow, it is just wacky. This side is almost 8.5. All right. This bow was designed in 1958. Now they did modify it. Has a heavy curve here. Has a lesser curve here, and that I've seen others with this. They did increase the curve, but it shoots straight. I did a practice for this tournament. That's why I'm doing all this. I'm doing an indoor 300 round, and all the times I've practiced, I've never got 10-10-10. It's 3 shots in the bullseye from 20 yards with any of my bows. I did it with this one, and I got 4 10-10-9s with this bow. So me and this bow work well together, and we defy a lot of the rules. Go figure. All right, I know my bow's good because I've been shooting it for a while. So it's all set up. Now we're going to take some shots, and let's see how my first shots land on my bag. Okay, ready to do bare shaft testing. Now I'm going to do something a little different. In the video, he says always start weak spined. But I'm going to play a little bit. I'm going to do one with a 100 grain head and then one with a 125. I'm not going to hunt with these. I'm going to shoot indoors, so I'm figuring lighter, you know, a little faster, a little more distance, and I'm going to do 3Ds with them, than a heavier. But I normally use 125, but I just want to see what a 100 would do. All right, take my shots, and let's see how we do. All right, this is the 100 grain head. This would be dead center. It's just a baby bit to the left and maybe a hair low. All right, so I could probably shoot it just like this, but let's try the 125 and let's see what happens next. .125 definitely made it weaker and went a little bit lower. Questions? Well, I'm going to go with the 100 grain heads. So I'm going to shoot that one, two more like that, just to verify my readings to make sure I got them right, and then we'll do some work. Pretty much the same as last one with the 100 grain heads I went to. Just a tad left and low. All right, one more, and then we'll make a slight adjustment. Center, a little off. So, they are weak, not just a hair. So I'm going to cut it and then do it. Now, let me back up so you can see my face, sorry. I don't have an arrow cutter, but I will improvise, adapt, and overcome. He recommends 1/4 inch at a time. Mine's pretty close, so I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch just to see what happens. All right. Because I'm learning, I'm not going to do it all regular way. 1/8 of an inch. I can use my bandsaw. Here, now you can see me better. Guess I should plug it in first, huh? Alright, plugged it in. I also checked it, tightened it up, so it should be pretty close. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut just short of my line and then put it on my sander, my disc sander. I don't know if it's level. So I'm going to take it over my disc sander and just do down a little bit more. To ensure my 90-degree angle, I got that set, and I got that set. I mean, what could go wrong? So, put my Nock back on, and you know, I just realized you want to make sure you got a level cut. Run your finger around it, your Nock should be totally flush. If it's not flush, it's not level. And it's pretty flush. Alright, let's take some shots. Alright, just a Nock shot. Still a little off to the left. That's all right. I only took an 8, so I'll go a little bit more. Take a couple more shots, let's see how it works. Same thing. A little left. All right, let's go one more. Right. But he said variations in form. And I did notice something different. So let's do one more. That one was on. Wow. That's real close. That was good form. You know, this is tough, you know. I had one here, another one there, and third one over here. So the fourth one's almost dead on. So I'm this close. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play with it a little bit and then make my decision. Alright, playing with it, got it straight, and I'm telling you, I had this conversation with Jeff Krug from the Nocking Point. It's a great YouTube channel. Make sure you watch it, subscribe to it. Shameless plug there, Jeff. And he asked why I didn't do my own arrows. I go, because if you can't shoot worth a damn, and you don't have good form, what's the sense? And it's so right. If I don't have good form, I make a mistake, it shows in the flight of this arrow, big time. Now this one felt good. And it looks good. The ones that didn't feel good, didn't look good. So what do you do? You know what, so if you do this, watch your form. Now I'm a little paranoid shooting because I keep hitting my rafters. You know, I'm shooting a bow from 1958, I don't know how many more times she can hit the rafters. So, I think she said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fletch this baby. And we're going to test it like that and see how she shoots. But I'm pretty happy. That is a pretty darn straight arrow. And just off the bullseye, I hit the bullseye in the black once already. Bare shaft. That's pretty cool to me. Another one there, and all the rest right in here. So she's shooting pretty darn good. So let's see how she does with fletching. Alright, got them cut, all ready to go. You know, you can leave your arrows like they are. It's total personal preference. But I don't like that. I like making mine all fancy, and I paint them, and it's easy. You know, you can leave this on here, but you don't have to. Normally I used to use regular sandpaper. Then I stumbled on these blocks, and I'm telling you, these blocks, it makes it so much easier to get this stuff off. And it does it much smoother. Now look, you seen how long I did it? It's already coming off. That's how quick it is. It only takes you a very short period of time to get all this off. So I'm going to strip these down. I got an ideal for them, you know. I don't make all my arrows the same. You know, everybody's, oh, you got to have the same crest. Nah, I'm not that smart. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to paint them. All right. Next step. Light coat, let it get tacky, apply a second coat, and look better. That'll stop it from crinkling. Lesson learned the hard way. All right, one other test he recommends is the spin test. You buy a spin tester like this, and what you do is you watch over here in the tips. More importantly, watch this end of it. So all you do is take the arrow and spin it. And you can see, looks like it came out pretty good. All right, they're all fletched. I'm ready to go. I have one of my old ones to use as a control arrow. So, one thing I'll say is I don't shoot at 10 much. I don't like 10. Yes, my basement's 10, but I just play down there. I don't shoot for accuracy. So, oops, get out of camera. Let's see how she shoots. 10 yards. Pretty straight. Not bad. All right, let's show you what I did. Blew one of them. So let's try to zoom in. Wrong way, dummy. There they are. Not bad, pretty good. All right, let's try it at 20. All right, play with the lights. Can't turn them all off, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to shoot 3 with this amount of light. I'm going to turn them all off and see if I can not break them in the dark. I don't know, that looks straight to my eyes. We'll see when I download it. Oh yeah. Not bad. All right, let's turn the lights off and let's see how they fly. All right, so a couple things. What? I'm not aiming, so last group, all I'm trying to do is watch the arrow. You know, when you try to watch the arrow, you just can't aim. Now I'm just going to try not to hit the wood trim. Move over a little bit so I make sure I got a good view of it. Not bad. It's, you know, it looked like a corkscrew, but I don't think that's anything. I think that's just the spin of the arrow. All right. You know what? Not bad. So, I'm going to play around, and then I'll tell you what I think about how it all went, and we'll actually find out how well these babies shot. I'm going to do a simulated 450. All right, a couple things I noticed. I got a funny, sneaky suspicion. These arrows, Go Tip XT100, GT 500s, way more than my Beeman Hunters 500s. Why did I switch if these flew so well? I seen a video from the ATA trade show, and they used one of these and they snapped it, and the guy goes, and he showed it after they snapped it, he goes, do you see that white? He goes, that's fiberglass. He goes, they use a fiberglass core. Go Tips are pure carbon. So I'm not too sure, but I just gotta, when I go home, I'm gonna put them on my scale. And the other thing I did, just to see, because you know my measurements are so close, I'll back up. I cut 3 arrows, but I didn't cut the other 2. And they're slightly longer, not by much. I only cut maybe 1/8 of an inch off. So this is going to be real interesting to see how all this works. All right, I'm going to keep shooting. $363 grains, sorry. Let's try my new ones. Look at that, 361. Well, that begs a good question. This, according to the guy at the ATA, has a fiberglass core. This, pure carbon. They weigh the same. Well, 2 grains less. That's 363. And then let's see if we get the same reading on this. 361. That's interesting. And I thought those weighed heavier. Uh-oh. All right. Arrows are done. Went out and shot them. And they work great. I'm telling you, I went out and did a 300 shoot, and they were flying straight. That was some awesome stuff. So, that tells you, right? Tuned arrows, they're awesome. Yeah and no. Now, before everybody gets their panties in an uproar and write comments under there telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, hear me out. If you're new to archery and your groups are like this, don't bother tuning your arrows. It's not going to help you. All right? Tuned arrows help those that already have their shot cycles and their consistency down. Tuned arrow can help you go from groups like this to a group like that. All right? So if you're new, don't bother with it. Get the right spine. And there's the tough one, isn't it? How do you find the right spine if you're not going to tune arrows? They have charts. And there's little caveats to it, which you learned at the beginning of the video. Make sure you follow those, okay? Do that, shoot and shoot and shoot until you get your form down and you start getting consistency. You'll know the time when you're ready. You'll know. I'm ready. No, you're not. I'm ready. No, you're not. I'm ready. No, you're not. Now you're ready. All right? Get them nice and tight. Then start tuning your arrows. And the Byron Ferguson method does work. Very happy with them. I'm telling you, those babies like lasers. It was really fun to shoot. And I even went out and used them today, left-handed with a different bow, and they were nice and straight. So it does work. My rating of 2 thumbs up, I keep it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next week with an all-new episode of 3D Archery.